The memories. The memories.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ranks for the Memories. It is I, Eric, with my trusty pal, Dan. And hello, Dan.
Hello.
And we've got another, in our humble opinion, wonderful podcast planned out for you guys. We will be talking about our childhood crushes. Don't worry, ladies. We'll also throw in some our wives' crushes to keep you guys interested.
Some red meat.
As well as we are also going to cover the albums that we couldn't stop listening to in high school.
Yeah.
So tune in for all the fun and hijinks. And let's jump in. We're going to start with childhood crushes.
Nice.
And if any of you guys are those wonderful people that that help us out and by crowdsourcing and telling us what your opinions are, we value that quite a bit. If you happen to be on there, you notice Dan was quite a lot of bravado about how no one's going to guess his. And I did try guessing a couple, and they were all wrong. So Dan, before you start, I have a list of my guesses as to what who your childhood crushes were.
Okay, yeah.
I want you to let me know if I'm right on any of these.
I think the big takeaway from all this is I'm a weird dude.
This will be surprising to me as well as all of our listeners.
Okay.
All right. Here's my first guess. Your childhood crush was the nanny from Muppet Babies, where you only saw her as Stockton.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, those were some great green and whites.
Is that on the list?
No, that's funny though.
All right. My next guess is not saying any kinks or anything like that, but 5 foot tall Rhea Perlman from Cheers.
You know, no, not a crush.
And another miss.
Although her husband, Danny DeVito,
Is he's even shorter, all right?
I think so. She was so mean in Cheers that I don't like mean. It's not my thing. Yeah.
My next guess is that Bond villain who crushed her victims in her thighs.
Ooh, she used the Thigh Master a little too much.
Yeah, she did.
No, that's a good guess. Though.
Man,
good guesses.
All right, I got a couple more.
Okay.
Adrian from Rocky, because you like screaming people's names out really loud in weird voices.
Adrian. Yeah, that would be good. I did like her glasses.
Yeah, he did have really nice glasses.
Uh-huh.
But another swing and a miss.
Another swing and a miss.
All right, 2 more. Fran Drescher from The Nanny.
Oh, I didn't put that on there, but actually, she's really good looking.
Until she opens her mouth, right? I guess what a testament to her acting skills that she's that comfortable with herself to, like to really like turn everyone off a bit with that fake voice. It's kind of funny.
Is that a fake voice?
I believe so.
Okay, because I can't even do it. It's bad.
It's so bad.
But no, she's actually a looker.
Yeah, she's pretty cute.
I realized that once when the TV was on mute.
The only way to watch Nanny.
Yeah.
You've now the better way to watch Nanny is to not watch Nanny.
2 of your guesses for me involve the word nanny.
I know you so well. All right, last one. It was the time period. You have to, surely one of the people on your list is I'm thinking Madonna from League of Their Own, or Madonna from Dick Tracy, or Madonna from Evita. I mean.
No, I did. We never liked Madonna. She was a little I don't know. I felt like if you got too close to her, you might catch something.
Yeah, she was ahead of her time, wasn't she?
She was ahead of her time.
If she was at her peak today, she'd be bigger than anyone in the history of music. But I think she was the biggest at the time. But I think maybe just too ahead of her time.
Yeah. So, but you actually got the closest on that one because my honorable mention was the entire female cast of League of Their Own,
including Rosie O'Donnell, or especially Rosie O'Donnell.
Let's leave that one to the listener's imagination.
I almost did put down Gina Davis from that. She was adorable in that movie.
Gina Davis, and there was this like the blonde pitcher. She had very few Very few scenes, but I remember as a kid thinking she was beautiful.
Was she one that had the kid that traveled with him?
Maybe.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, there was a couple cuties in that one. That was the idea behind the concept of the sports team, I guess.
Yeah, Rosie O'Donnell looks a little bit like Quinn from Impractical Jokers.
That's nice. All right, Dan, since I failed so miserably, please illuminate us. Who are your childhood crushes?
Okay, well, number 6, everyone, it was probably on most people's list, but Elizabeth Shue from the Karate Kid franchise.
Oh man, she was cute in every movie, but Karate Kid, yeah, she was a lot of fun.
And she just, grew into a beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm.
So that was number 6. Number 5 is a cartoon, Jessica Rabbit.
Oh man, absolutely, of course.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about,
right?
we don't need to talk about that
Right, moving on
much. Number 4 is Vicky from the TV show Small Wonder.
I never saw that show. I can't remember it at all.
Really?
What was Small Wonder?
It's so this family, this dad makes a robot girl, and it becomes a member of their family, but they don't share with anyone else in the world that she's a robot.
So your childhood crush was a robot?
Well, that's one of them.
Or a cartoon? Okay. I'm not judging. I'm just asking for clarification. That's all.
We didn't have cable.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. So yeah, I think she was a cute. So I'm talking about when I was a little kid. I'm not this like a high schooler.
Right.
Not that there's anything wrong with,
robots are useful parts of society.
Maybe I was just ahead of my time. We know where things are going. So she was cute, and I think part of the reason I had a little crush on her was that her neighbor, that they had a nosy neighbor who was always almost finding out that she was a robot, was named Harriet, and she was one of the most annoying childhood actors you could imagine.
Okay.
So Tiffany Brissett was the actress. I believe she got out of show business and now is like a nurse or something like that in Colorado.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. And don't, if you ever want to be really depressed, look up what happened to her brother, Jamie. And if you want to get depressed, look up what happened to childhood actors, basically.
That is a downfall, and probably something we're going to have to tackle at some point on this podcast.
Yeah. So number 3 is a lot of, I'm surprised I didn't see this one on people's list when you crowdsourced. Carrie Green.
That name sounds familiar. Where's she from?
Goonies.
Oh, I just watched that, and what a wonderful character in that movie.
But even more than that was, I think, when I saw her in Lucas, that movie.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that at all either. What's Lucas?
Oh, it's the story of this little sick boy. You have to see it. But yeah, Carrie Green, often a crush of people in the 80s.
Okay, interesting.
So now number 2, this one I don't feel great about saying, but Stephanie Seymour.
That name sounds familiar.
So she was in a Guns N' Roses video and then became basically the star of Victoria's Secrets for the 80s and 90s.
I'm glad you mentioned that, though, because that time period was like, you couldn't turn on television without having a music video with a model on it. I mean, that was the time period. So I think that's almost a nice homage to the era we're talking about, that you have a music video model on there.
And then my number 1 is Marky Post from Night Court.
Oh my goodness gracious. No wonder you were so confident no one was going to be able to guess. That's impressive.
So you don't, do you remember that Night Court?
I remember Night Court. Yes. I can't remember specifically being wowed one way or the other. I think I was so distracted by that like 8-foot tall bald guy that I don't even know if I remember a really cute girl on that one.
Well, you'll have to look it up.
It was there. I'm looking her up right now. That's pretty fun. It's also weird. She looks almost exactly like your wife.
Yeah, right.
No, it'd be cool. It'd be creepy though if she was. But
if they were all like short redheads,
that's a nice list, and I like there was a couple of them that I had to ask you about. Some that was a nice retrospective look back to the 80s. Thank you, Dan.
yeah, thank you.
All right, as promised, Dan and I have for the ladies. This segment's for the ladies.
Did you want to share yours, or are you gonna share the ladies?
Let's go. We're losing listeners by the second, so we got to talk about men now for a minute.
Okay.
Dan and I asked our wives who their childhood crushes were,
Mm.
and Dan and I usually have a pretty good job of not having too much crossover. Our wives are not podcast experts, so we can't promise the same thing. Dan, you want to read one of yours, and I'll read one of mine?
Sure. Joey from New Kids on the Block.
All right. My wife chose Joey from New Kids on the Block.
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. Next.
Jason Priestley from Beverly Hills 90210. Not Luke Perry, she specified.
No, obviously.
Uh-huh.
All right. That's interesting. My wife chose Jason Priestley from Beverly Hills 90210.
My wife chose Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell.
My wife chose Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell.
Wow.
Cool, fun, right? Also, in case people are like, I imagine a lot of people are at home saying they planned this.
No.
But no, this is, I think maybe that's all you had to choose from back then. And so, but we will say that our wives are eerily similar in many ways. So I guess we should not be surprised.
That's true.
That their choices are also so eerily similar.
And it's clear from their girlhood fantasies that they were just destined to marry guys that look like us.
For those of you who are listening to our podcast, the thousands of you who are listening to our podcast but have not met us, we are kind of a blend. I would say you kind of Jason Priestley / Zach Morris-ish.
Oh, 100%.
And
like if Zach Morris ate Jason Priestley.
And I was like, if Mark Paul Gosselaar walked in here and got beat with a handsome stick, that would be a pretty good description of what I look like.
If he fell down the handsome tree and hit every branch on the way down.
Man, that would hurt. But boy, that face would look just like mine.
Speaking of that hurts, my wife's fourth choice was Kirk Cameron from Growing Pains.
Bold choice. My wife went a different direction and chose Kirk Cameron from Growing Pains.
Although she did tell me not anymore, because he's getting into some weird stuff.
He has his own like Hallmark channel, doesn't he?
He's got his
Hallmark channel,
like Christian right-wing Hallmark specials. Yeah, good times. So number 5, John Stamos, Uncle Jesse, or
nice,
not Uncle Joey. Cut him out.
But apparently he was quite the ladies' man. I can't picture it, but maybe just the fame. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's that hard to imagine John Stamos doing all right with the ladies.
No, I mean, Uncle Joey was doing okay, but yeah, John Stamos.
Oh, you mean Dave Coulier? What?
Yeah, Dave Coulier was much more a ladies' man than I ever would have imagined.
Probably like some what?
My wife finally veered off the path and went. We're back to now. New Kids on the Block. Jordan. New Kids on the Block. I'm disappointed that neither of the girls chose one of the Wahlbergs. I think my favorite new kid was definitely a Wahlberg. Was that Donnie?
Donnie or yeah, I mean they either shirt him off a lot.
He did, didn't they?
Mark Wahlberg. Yeah. So
What's your wife? Yeah, what your little wife's last choice?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay. Now here's my wife only gave me 5 names. I don't know. My 2 guesses are either A, she's never listened to the podcast, so she doesn't know we do 6. And or
possible.
Yeah, very possible. And B, I think probably the 6th spot was open because she was always waiting for me.
Oh,
that's probably what I'm guessing. Does that make sense? Like, I kind of like Zach, but I really, really gonna like my future husband. That's why I assume she said a lot as a child.
And my wife was like Leonardo DiCaprio.
You'd make room for her on the door, wouldn't you? I think she would make room for you.
Although now I think, my wife is probably about 25 years too old for him.
Yeah, she's sadly aged out, which I guess is reassuring for you. Like, what a like no more anxiety about losing your wife to Leonardo DiCaprio.
It was a struggle for the first 10 years of marriage. We were always worried.
I think by the time you guys got married, she was probably too old for Leonardo DiCaprio.
I think by the time she graduated college.
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio. We feel so bad for him.
All right, so let's hear your crushes.
All right, that sounds great. My sixth crush that I enjoyed the most as growing up as a child goes back to one of the first sitcoms I watched, The Wonder Years.
Yeah,
the actress is Danica McKellar, and the character is Winnie Cooper.
Okay,
Who was a big time crush of mine.
that's great. She's and Kevin from The Wonder Years.
Yep. And what's funny is not many people said that in the I guess maybe everyone is a little bit younger than us, but many of our crowdsourced people said Topanga, which ironically is the significant other of Fred Savage's brother.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Ben Savage, which Topanga was nothing to shake a stick at, but maybe neither of us chose her. But I went with Winnie Cooper, a cutie and a very sweet girl back in the day.
And was in an episode of How I Met Your Mother.
Oh man, you're not good unless you've been in an episode of How I Met Your Mother. She was pretty great on that one.
Yeah. Now, I'll give you that. Not my style.
Not your cup of tea. That's all right. That's fine. We can't. If she was a robot, you would have enjoyed her a little bit more.
Probably.
My fifth pick for childhood crush was from we're still sticking with sitcoms. The Dukes of Hazzard. No, sorry, Cosby Show. Sorry about that. The Cosby Show. The actress is Lisa Bonet, and the character is Denise Huxtable.
Oh yeah,
I thought she was very beautiful, an older woman. As I'm watching the show, you got to be excited about that. And
right.
She was kind of a free spirit, so that was pretty fun to see. Kind of just this girl, kind of almost like a little bit of a not bad boy, but whatever. Yeah, the bad girl, I guess. Didn't really fit into the mold that the Cosbys wanted her to have, but it was kind of exciting.
Didn't
Cosby Show.
Marry Lenny Kravitz?
Yeah, she has. Yes, and their kid is the Catwoman in the new Batman movie too.
Now I think Lenny Kravitz is a pretty good looking guy. I've heard he's talented. But
apparently,
I think it's too bad she didn't know you before.
Well, I think it was probably the Leonardo DiCaprio situation. Either that or she never traveled to Indiana, so I could tell her how I felt.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, talking about a beautiful woman and a beautiful man, that was a good combination right there when she hooks up with Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah.
Well, no regrets.
Fair enough.
Because I was holding out for the Dukes of Hazzard. Catherine Bach's character, Daisy Duke.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that show. And it wasn't just because of Daisy Duke. It was an awesome, awesome show. But Daisy Duke was the eye candy that probably kept people from turning it off to A-Team or something like that. Daisy Duke was pretty great.
I think that was a standard formula. Right?
Like race cars, Daisy Duke.
So, do they call those shorts Daisy Dukes because of her?
Yeah, isn't that amazing? I mean, that shows what an icon she was, what a crush she was, that a whole fashion can be named after her.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of like robot clothes being called Vickies.
Not yet.
They will
someday if I get my way. My third choice for crushes, I have to shout out to Megan, because it was one of my crowdsourced people mentioned. We went to the movies a lot, Eric, because you had to keep seeing The Fifth Element. I'm like, oh my goodness, I totally did. I forgot about that. Thank you. So I'm like, yeah, well, we did go to that movie a lot. And it wasn't just because of Bruce Willis, who's one of my favorite actors, but it was probably because of Mila Jovovich.
Mm-hmm.
Her character was Lilu in that one.
Oh yeah. Did she come out of some goo or something? Or I can't.
She was like an alien, or like even like a created some sort of person from the future. Yeah, she was gonna save the world.
Oh, so the guy who's been making fun of me for crushing on a robot likes an alien.
But one that's gonna save the world. Hello.
Oh, okay.
It's a noble crush.
Did you also go see The Crow a lot?
I think only once or twice.
Twice.
Wait, remember, keep in mind, I grew up in Indiana, where your choices for fun was going to the movies or going to Pizza Hut and then to the movies.
That's
One time we did go to the movies and then to Pizza Hut, but usually it was it was either the first choice or the second choice.
yeah. No, that checks out.
So if a movie came out in the 80s or 90s, and it made its way to Lafayette, Indiana, I saw it 1 to 3 times.
Makes sense.
Unless you're talking about The Fifth Element, then apparently it was more than that.
That's funny.
My last two was really hard to rank them because they're both just goddesses to me as a child. I'm going with number 2 from one of my favorite shows ever, Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman. Terry Hatcher was the actress, and she was Lois Lane in that show. And I was crushing pretty hard on her as a kid.
Yeah, I could see that.
She was cute. She was also like, strong-willed. She and Superman saved her, so that was exciting. And then Dean Cain was fun to watch too. So it was a nice combination of Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher.
Yeah, they don't put a lot of ugly people on TV.
No, it's odd unless they're on a league of their own.
They get podcasts.
Shh, don't spoil the surprise. Remember, we told them we're handsome.
Oh, okay.
They'll never know. And Terry Hatcher, obviously, was also pretty famous in an episode of Seinfeld too. So,
oh yeah,
I mean, probably a few people that enjoyed Terry Hatcher.
Yeah,
for her acting skills.
Yeah. There's a catchphrase which we probably don't want to say for our underage listeners.
So, but it would be fabulous if you didn't say it. That's all I wanted to say. And obviously, you already know this is coming. I'm assuming you didn't put her on for all 6 of your choices just because you knew how strongly I feel about it.
Yeah.
The cutest, biggest crush I had as a child was definitely Saved by Bell, Tiffany Amber Thiessen, Kelly Kapowski. Oh my goodness gracious!
Kapow.
Yes, she's my dream. She was my dream woman when I was a kid.
Yeah,
and or girl, I guess. But she was pretty. She had the fashion. She was also fashionable.
Okay.
And she had lots of good fashion.
Oh, so you're really into fashion?
Apparently, I was when I watched Saved by the Bell, because I don't really know if she had much going on for her. But she had those, remember, really short pockets where she could only put like her fingertips in them. Yeah, she would just stand around a lot, and with just her like cuticles in the pockets of her shorts.
Yeah, she wasn't my style. Again, it's interesting because how our wives converged on crushes and how you and I really apparently we never really competed for the same women when we were.
That's probably why we get along so well, because there was never that manly competition.
That's true. However, there is one which I know you took it off your list, and I left it off my list because I thought it was going to be on yours.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And that is Simone from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, she was very iconic 80s beauty, wasn't she?
Oh, absolutely.
And a lot of these aren't just looks, but also the character that they play. And she was pretty cool. I mean, you had to be really cool to be Ferris Bueller's girlfriend.
You had to be cool, but she was also kind.
She was. There was that friend that no one liked.
Cameron.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she looked out for Cameron.
Mm-hmm. That's nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. We apologize to you if you're listening. I assume she's listening.
Yeah.
I forget her name, the actress, but I assume she's listening. We apologize for leaving you off the list, but it was more out of respect for you that we didn't do it.
Right.
She just stopped listening.
All right. Are you ready for our next topic, Eric?
Dan, we nailed that one. Yes. Let's continue the success.
Okay.
Our next topic is our favorite albums we could not stop listening to when we were in high school or in that area, I guess.
So I'm going to go first because I struggled with this one, and I want to leave the best ranking for last, and that's clearly going to be yours in this case.
I wait till you see what I have. Don't give me too much credit.
So, because people are going to hear mine, and after a few, they're going to be like, "Who is this guy? Is he real?" Like, I lost a little credibility with my, list of childhood crushes. Some were a little off the charts. Anyway, let's just get into it. Number 6 is Metallica, the Black Album.
Oh man, that sold a bajillion records that year, didn't it? Man.
1991. So I went into a little heavy metal phase in middle school and early high school. And to be honest, I don't know if I liked the music as much as I thought I was supposed to like it.
Yeah. I think probably can I be I know it's your job to be the psychological one, but we were both really cool kids, just no one knew it yet. So this is probably the time of our lives where we're trying to make sure we're fitting in as much as possible.
Oh, absolutely. So number 5 is Nirvana, Nevermind. Have you heard of that album?
Nirvana. Oh yeah. That one band that we listened to constantly our entire high school years. Yes, now I remember.
Yeah. So I got into Nirvana a little bit. I tried getting into it. Honestly, when I was that age, it was a little too noisy for me. I've listened to it since then, and I actually like it now more as an adult than I did back then.
Okay, yes. I probably for the same reason that we were listening to those because that's what everyone was listening to.
And was that the album cover with a little nude baby swimming in the water?
I don't think so. Maybe it was. I know that there was just some controversy about like they almost got arrested for child porn on that one.
Oh yes, that was the album.
Okay,
there was that. I think the little kid tried to sue.
Yeah.
Her. So yeah, there's a great mashup. So they took some jazz musicians from New York. They're called Generation Y is like the band, and they did a cover of a Nirvana song, and it might be one of the best things you will hear all year if you spend 10 minutes listening to that.
Well, who did that? I would like to listen to that for sure.
So what's the drummer's name is Ulysses something, and the jazz group is called Generation Y.
Oh, thank you.
So highly recommend. Number 4 is Pearl Jam, the 10 album.
I'm gonna spoil alert that one right now. That's also on my list, Dan. And for good reason. Nirvana made me uncomfortable. It was a little bit more angry than I really felt at the time. I knew I was supposed to be that angry, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
But I'm in love with Eddie Vedder. His songwriting, his vocals.
It's so good.
Everyone anger was like a musical anger, and I appreciated it quite a bit.
Like everyone wanted to sound like him.
Yes.
He had such a great voice. Once, that Jeremy song, right?
Yeah,
These are
man.
Classic songs.
Wonderful songs. And that, boy, I know we just said that Metallica album's sold a lot, but if you were a kid, at least in the Midwest, everyone had that 10 album for sure. And then probably Versus also. Versus probably was like a millimeter less popular than that one, but also everyone had that one too.
So yeah, I mean, and those songs were on the radio all the time.
Yes.
And then Pearl Jam was like, hey, we did so good. Then everyone's like, hey, let's just create Pearl Jam 2 and call them Stone Temple Pilots.
Which I think I didn't like them at the time because they were Pearl Jam posers. So now on the oldest channel they play Stone Temple Pilots and it's wonderful.
It's really
now,
good.
I'm like forgiving them. Yeah, I'm like, oh, more STP, please.
And then the third one is a group that I actually didn't listen to in high school, but I've since circled back and I listen to them a lot. It's Cake, Fashion Nugget.
Is it because of the clever use of horns and things like that in there, or what's the appeal for Cake now?
Oh, I think it's just it's unique. So it's like kind of an alternative rock band, but then they just have a random trumpet.
Yep.
In there. It's minimalistic but super catchy, and they just kind of seem like they're guys who are not feeling a lot of anxiety. It's kind of fun to hang out with.
Like every time they feel like they're like down alternate, they need to get into their alternative grunge time. They're like, let's play some trumpet and feel better about things.
I think so.
And here's where I adore Cake is one of my favorite TV shows of all time was Chuck. Did you ever watch Chuck?
No.
It was an awesome show. It had Zachary Levi was the main actor. He's just an ordinary like nerd who works at a Best Buy fixing computers, but the CIA puts like all like their information that they have on their entire computer in his head, and so he becomes like a super for against his will. He kind of becomes a secret agent. But anyway, it's a very fun show. But the theme song is by Cake. So
nice.
Watch the show. You also get a taste of Cake.
So yeah, Cake has some great covers too.
Yes, they do.
Like they covered a Black Sabbath. They covered a disco song, I Will Survive. So really good stuff. All right, and then my final two albums. About sophomore year in high school, I just stopped listening to heavy metal, and I turned my focus towards a couple of public radio channels.
Oh boy, this is where
we lose people.
Either they're turning it up or turning it off.
This is where we lose people. And I stopped buying albums until college when I started buying jazz albums. I know, you can hate me, whatever. So I turned the corner.
Post your email address on the podcast later, so everyone can let you know how they feel.
So yeah, this was in the mid to late 90s. So yeah, I was a hipster like 20 years before it was cool. And
ultimate hipster thing to be.
So the two things I listened to 100 times more than albums were number 2 is 98.7 WFMT. This is a classical music station. And the reason I listened to it was not because I chose to, but because my mom would just blast it throughout the house and car all the time. So I was inundated with classical music.
Whether you want to or not, mom was in charge of the radio.
Oh yeah, if I turned on something, I turned on once in middle school. I put in a tape in the car of Public Enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who they are?
Yes,
a rap group. That lasted about 30 seconds.
She whooped you good, didn't she?
And then Mozart came back on. Number 1 is 90.9 WDCB, Glen Ellyn.
And you know it's good because it's all the way down at 90 on the dial where all the hard hitting channels are.
It's where it hits the hardest, is down low in the FM range. And people who were ever in my car in high school, Jolly would make fun of me because of how bad the DJs were on this station. It'd be like, all right, we are now going to listen to some jazz. Like just totally slow, totally way too mellow. Like people are falling asleep. And full disclosure, I would come home from school, turn this on, lay on the couch, and I usually would take a nap. But great radio station. They're still amazing, like 25, 27 years later.
90.9 still rocking it in Glen Ellyn?
It's still rocking. Sometimes I'll even turn it on the internet and just let it jam out.
Now, I have to be honest with you. I want you to be honest with us, me, and the listeners. The last couple of minutes felt like product placement. Are you or are you not getting paid by 98.7 WFMT or 90.9 WDCB?
There is no conflict of interest. I'm just a fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We have to take your word for that.
Unpaid.
Okay. You're a good guy. I'm going to believe you on this one. And Dan, I'm glad I'm glad you talked about your mom's music taste because my list is going to be pretty eclectic, like my listening style. And it really was a constant battle of what my parents listened to and what they did not want me listening to. Which I guess is probably an eternal battle, not unique to us and our parents, but probably every generation and every family. We had oldies going on our radio station, so I do like the oldies, but that's also because that was always on. But my albums are kind of a combination of what my peers were listening to, what my parents want me to listen to, and what BMG and Columbia House for force feeding on those catalogs.
Yeah.
I mean, I fell hook, line, and sinker. And those catalogs, every month it's the same albums on the front. And when you're an impressionable teenager, it's like, well, these must be the good albums.
Did you?
And they're all free, so you're like, well, why not? I'll just get them all.
Did you ever do that thing where you would like sign up for that deal?
Oh, constantly.
You did?
Yeah, I'd go from Columbia House to BMG to Columbia House to BMG. I have hundreds and hundreds of CDs, and they were mostly for a penny.
Do you still have those, or did you like
I still have all my CDs. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep. They're in the garage, but they just last summer I re-download them all and put them on iTunes. Yeah, tons and tons of CDs. And
I don't even have a CD player anymore.
I don't either.
That's funny.
I got an external disk drive and plugged in my computer to upload everything.
Wow.
Yeah. CD players. Who knew?
Good. They sound so good though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not all the people at home who are into vinyl are now turning off too.
Right.
We can call this our ostracism album or episode where everyone just gets mad and turns it off.
There you go.
So my sixth choice is definitely one of those that was on the front page of the BMG and Columbia House catalogs, but I have no regrets because it was such a nice sounding album that I definitely listened to it nonstop. And it was "We Can't Dance" by Genesis.
Nice.
I love me some Phil Collins. He's got a great voice. It's cheesy, it's sappy, almost. I mean, by now it'd be called elevator music, but it was good. That was, "I Can't Dance" was on there. "Jesus, He Loves Me." There was a couple good ones, but you just gotta. It's like a comforting, really soft pop rock, really soft, but it was nice
And good drums.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And speaking of drums, my fifth album I listened to nonstop was actually a percussion focused album. And it was the first CD I ever got, a gift from my parents when they also got me a CD player.
Yeah.
It was probably not in any of my friends' collections. I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb and say that no one had this album, but I still listen to this today because it's very soothing. Paul Simon had an album where he went to South America after the success of Graceland in South Africa. He went to South America and had a percussion focused album called "Rhythm of the Saints."
Huh.
And I suggest you would like it, Dan. I don't think our listeners will, but you will like listening to this on the couch instead of 90.9.
I'm throwing that on today when I'm going to be.
It's really nice, very musical, and lots of nice South American percussions. And it was my first album, so I liked it a lot.
Yeah, and I would say Paul Simon is maybe possibly the more talented of the Simon and Garfunkel duo.
He has a lot more longevity than the other one. And he wrote 99.9% of the songs
and sang the melodies
per art,
and did a little bit less math teaching though.
Slightly less math teaching, and was also married to Princess Leia for a little bit of time.
Was he?
Yes, for
Carrie Fisher?
Yeah, for less than a year, I believe.
Ah,
some of his songs are about their marriage and their courtship.
And the bottoms of his shoes are so strong.
Yes, they are. Some would say they're like diamonds. And he was one of the few people who have gotten out by selling their entire catalog. And I think it's almost it's kind of neat that these people are now old men can still make a ton of money off their catalog by just selling all the rights to all their songs. I don't remember how much he made, but it was I think tens or even hundreds of millions by just selling off all his rights to his songs.
Did you ever see the SNL where he sings "Crazy" after all these years dressed up as a turkey?
Yeah, he was. I know. Sadly, I know a lot about SNL and about Paul Simon. He was not on air every week, but he was on set every single week. That was back then. They were the cool kids, and that's where the drugs were. So he was up in it with all those guys every week. But yeah, that's a pretty good, pretty iconic video. Good old Paul Simon. Number 4, we don't need to talk about too much. It's called 10 by Pearl Jam. I believe you liked that album as well.
I did.
And now we will both sing Jeremy. Or no, let's not do that. And we'll go to my number 3. Kind of back to kind of nerdy, geeky, but it was the Forrest Gump soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
It was double disc, and I listened to it a ton. I mean, I was already listening to oldies anyway, but it was neat because they had probably 30 songs that went through a timeline through the movie from oldest from Bob Dylan. Or it actually was like more like Beach Boys near the beginning, like to like the clearing was near the end. Yeah, Kareem's is in there. Yeah, there's a lot of good songs in there. And if you didn't mind listening to everything that was written in the 60s and 70s, then that was a fantastic album. Oh my goodness, I love the album. So
it was kind of like just cherry picking some of the best songs from each of the time periods.
It sure was.
Yeah,
and I didn't like that it was in chronological order too. It was almost an unofficial music theory class because you would just listen to how songs progressed over time.
It is a great soundtrack.
Yep, maybe not for your typical 15-year-old boy, but I listened to it a bunch.
Well, Forrest Gump wasn't your typical 15-year-old boy, and look what he accomplished.
Wow. He eventually went to space.
Did he?
Yeah, Apollo 11 was it? Or 13?
Oh, you mean Tom Hanks?
Oh yeah, I forget he was an actor. So hard to remember sometimes.
But yeah, no, Forrest he played ping pong and went to Vietnam.
We do love ping pong.
Yeah.
I like ping pong more than Vietnam.
Yeah, most do.
Even the Vietnamese probably.
I don't know. I hear it's not so bad anymore.
Okay, good. They've improved it.
Yeah.
There's an IKEA there.
That's good.
The second album I listened to the most was partly because it was rocking, but partly because that was the first concert I ever went to. And that was Tom Petty's Wildflowers album.
Ooh.
Yeah, there was a lot of sweet songs on there, and it was very special to me since that was my first concert.
So you know how last podcast you had a real feeling which got you in hot water about The Empire Strikes Back?
Oh no, are you going to trash Wildflowers?
I have an Eric-like opinion on this, and I know everyone loves Tom Petty, but I don't get it.
You don't get Tom Petty?
I don't get why it's like the music is boring to me. It's like just a couple of chords. It's really simple. But it must resonate with people because it clearly does. But for me, it's kind of like going to the cupboard and saying like, how many saltine crackers do I want to eat?
Oh, I want to eat so many saltine crackers right now. It sounds good. Maybe I like saltine crackers and I like Tom Petty. And if there's any listeners left from the state of Florida, they just tuned out because Tom Petty's from Florida and he's kind of our native darling. So
I know it's a controversial opinion, and I feel like I need to be true to myself, despite the fact that he's widely loved and respected. And
I'm just glad that you that we're honoring your truths a lot more than my truths were honored last week. But you are in a safe place right now, Dan, and I don't feel like I was treated that way last week.
You were hammered.
Yeah, hammered. Well, Dan, I respect that you're wrong, and I love you still.
Thanks for not being petty.
Oh, I probably shouldn't be laughing at that much, but let's see. Tom Petty pun. Tom Petty. Okay, tune in next week for Tom Petty puns by Eric Fassel.
Right.
This gives us time for the very, very, very best album in my collection for me. I listened to this when I was feeling most angsty, probably whenever my hormones flared up. I would put in August and Everything After by the Counting Crows.
Yeah.
Again, like I'm raised to not be, into alternative music's too evil. So this is like just emo. Oh, was this the first emo album? You could listen to it and just like feel sad and just teen angsty. I listened to this album so much, August and everything after. Every song on there is a golden nugget. Loved it. You're nodding quietly, so you either did not listen to it or hated it as much as you hated Tom Petty. But man, this Counting Crows album was the #1 album in my life.
Yeah, I mean, it reminded me a little bit of that. What's that other song you really liked, which I really didn't like?
The one from Blind Melon, No Rain.
Yeah. They're a little Blind Melony for my taste.
They are, but boy, they just touched my emotional core.
Well, then I will not poop on it. But I will say they kind of sound like if Blind Melon and Hootie and the Blowfish had a baby.
They look and
When they look that way
a
too.
little bit like him too.
Yeah.
Adam Duritz, I think it was.
Uh-huh.
I always thought that was pretty amazing because if you remember, he had dated Courtney Cox and Jennifer Aniston. So
good.
Not only did I like the music, but also was like, man, this guy is the epitome of cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I feel bad though because when he's singing, Mr. Jones was cooler than him.
Yeah.
What made you wonder if he can land 2 of the Friends girls, how cool is Mr. Jones?
He's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. I think you nailed those albums more than I did, Eric. I'm not going to lie.
The bar was 90.9 WDCB in Glen Ellen.
WDCB.
Should we do our next entire podcast in WDCB voices?
I think no one would listen. Yeah. Next thing we rank is top 5. Our numbers, our 6 best, programs on WDCB.
Number 2, Flugelhorn. Talented beginners.
Sunday is for jazz flute.
Unless it's Anchorman, I'm not interested.
No. Yeah. So yeah, that's clearly not my wheelhouse. I apologize profusely, but I'll step it up next week.
Yep. The good thing about a turn of an episode like this one is that the number 12 is going to be unstoppable.
Unstoppable. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I'm. Thank goodness I'm sitting down. I'm a tizzy with anticipation. Boys and girls and friends of all ages, thank you for listening to Ranks for the Memories. And as we sign out, we will have the WDCB anchor just signing you out with the Ranks for the Memories. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for listening.
For memories.